Just to let you know, this podcast may contain some offensive/explicit language. If you don't like that type of stuff, then you simply don't have to listen. But we've given you your warning. Hope you enjoy. Hello, Dan.
Right.
Fancy seeing you here in this.
Here we are. Back
cabin.
Back again.
It's the photo studio. You can't tell. I presume they can't see the edges of this prop.
No, it's not very wide angle, but Tony's done a great job setting up a makeshift studio to get us going again. Do you want to explain what we're doing?
I'll do my best to explain what we're doing. We're back. It's been, funnily enough, I did just look at how long it's been. When do you think we sat down in similar fashion as we are now, albeit we've got a little bit more...
Did you look?
I did look, yeah.
2021? Was it 2021?
No.
No, it was earlier. It was pre-COVID, surely. Yeah, because Tassan was saying 2018.
No, not that early.
2019.
That's so
then.
ridiculous. 2019, yeah.
Wow.
April 2019 is when we sat in Kev's office with a couple of handheld microphones and went...
6 years ago.
Yeah. Quick maths. Well, as of April, it's 6 years. What have you achieved in those 6 years?
Yeah.
So I'm
That's
just trying to think, what have I done? I've caught a few more 40s.
I honestly feel it was like 2 years ago we started a podcast.
Yeah,
and then Hassan did it for 6 months, but
that's your whole secondary school life, isn't it? 6 years.
Jesus,
you think how long that felt, and that 6 years ago we sat there. Yeah. Do you reckon it's 6 years?
Can I give you this? It's going to keep buzzing.
Yeah. So that, and we literally almost exactly what we're doing now, except we've got a little bit better equipment that we've gained over the years with Hassan and that. And
it doesn't work. We've just come to use it. It doesn't work.
Well, yeah, it doesn't work. Whoever's fault that is.
So yeah, everything's broken. It's been sat on shelves for the best part of a year, and now it doesn't really work that well. So we've done it makeshift. It'll do for now, but we're getting the old team back together again.
We spoke about it for a little while. Obviously, Hassan left.
A little while.
When did Hassan leave? Has that been a year? Yeah, I'm just
over
away with the fairies.
A year, yeah.
Okay, and then we obviously let it die down because one a week. It's a lot of listening. I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys loved it, but
yeah. So going back, 6 years ago we started a podcast, just me and you. We said it was actually Tommy said we should start doing podcasts, and we said, "Fuck it, let's do one." And we just sat down in that office and we started.
Mm-hmm.
Went pretty well, gained some traction. Most importantly, Kev loved it. And Kev was like, I want more. And we were like, we both have full-time jobs. It's actually getting really hard to do. Because again, it was just sat in that office with a couple of mics. So we hired Hassan, full-time host of the podcast, and he smashed it. We had 1 year. No, more than. 4 years of every single week.
Even over Christmas.
Releasing a new podcast. Yeah. Didn't miss a week. Keep burping, sorry. Hassan left, went on to Pastures New. He's smashing it. And we said, we'll get it going again. We'll just leave it, let this dust settle. We'll have a little think. I've reached out to loads of people within Nash and outside of Nash. What do you want to see in a podcast? What would be new? What would be different? Because Hassan had run its course. You know, bring a guest in, interview them, tell a few carpy stories or talk about their life in carp fishing. He'd smashed it, but carp fishing isn't that big and we kind of run out. So we said, right, what should we do? Which is different. A few cool ideas bouncing around and that sort of thing. And then we've just not really ever got round to it, which is no excuse for, really. But for me, I couldn't settle because I always want to go bigger and better. I couldn't settle on, or I couldn't really think of not just me, but collectively, we couldn't really think of a concept.
You look at podcasts now compared to when we sat down on that table. Not just in carp fishing, in general, they weren't we knew they were up and coming and being good members of staff that we are and trying to push the brand. We thought, we can do a Nash podcast, went really well, but now they're everywhere. There's so many, social media is full of podcast clips and they're really consumable. So here we are.
Yeah.
But you can overthink it, I think, because what we've basically settled on is we've got no clue what we're doing.
Yeah.
We can't decide on an idea, so we're just going to get in the chairs and just wing it.
And to be fair, we said end of last year, beginning of this year, right, we'll get it going again. We had a meeting with Tony, who's head of our media department. how are we going to do it? And we stripped out the old studio. That's literally been gutted out. We're going to set it up all nice and new again. We'll start at the end of January, and maybe this can be the concept and that sort of thing. And then suddenly end of January rolls around. The studio's still stripped out. We haven't redone it yet. And we were just like, if we don't just do it...
We don't make it happen.
That is awfully cliche.
It won't happen.
But if we don't just start, it would just be here this time next year going, oh yeah, we haven't thought of a good concept.
So here we are, viewers, listeners.
Without any good concept. We're just talking.
We'll get better, will we? Who knows?
Yeah. But I think what we're going to do is, firstly, I'm going to hope it evolves. I'm going to hope you and me sit down here probably once a month to start with, which is nowhere near regular enough for a podcast. But to start with, we're going to do once a month, and you and me just going to sit down and talk and just watch this thing evolve. I want loads of input from the trusty audience.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you guys want to hear, anything that you guys want to listen to, any avenue you want to go down. Do you want to make it super informational? Do you just want to listen to us rant? Do you want to chuck us topics to talk about? I don't know. Let's just see what happens.
We've always spoke that machine that's broken down there, so we're using a different one. But when we fix it, we can have live callers. That'd be great.
That will be great.
I mean, it won't be live, but we can live into this. Let's get Dave from Bolton giving his opinion on politics. Maybe not. That's probably not the best way. But, we can go down the fishing side of it as well.
So, it was all about just getting on the horse at the moment.
Yeah, exactly
and just seeing where it goes.
And
having a catch-up.
Rolling with it. We're busy people. It might not... You may think it's all... What's the phrase? All bells and whistles? All
good.
It's all good. But there's a lot of hard work going on in the background. Fishing is the good bit.
Yeah.
And it's...
What have you been doing then?
Well, work-wise or fishing,
I know what you've been doing.
Work has been very, very busy. So without going into all the boring stuff, we've got a new website that's being built. One for you guys, our consumers, and then one for our customers. So the B2B side, which we'll never see.
Well, you don't look at the camera. It's a podcast.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I feel like I'm back on the back.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm just presenting to the camera.
I was going to say, it's meant to be natural. Stop looking at it. Why are you staring at it, man?
And we've been working on that, and it turns out it's a little bit trickier than we first imagined, but long story short, we're getting there, and it's coming to an end. And my hair's growing back. I've lost all my hair. And look at me now. No, I'm joking.
God, stop. Why are you playing up to the camera? This is meant to just be you and me talking.
Yeah, we are. We're talking.
You've gone all awkward. Why are you so awkward?
No, you did this in the first few podcasts. I remember you did it with Kev. You played the awkward card, and then you made me awkward about being awkward when I wasn't even awkward.
Sounds like something I'd do.
And so that's been a lot of background work, and it's killed me, mate. It's taken away my time for fishing and a whole host of other things. But
100%,
it's important, it is an important.
Well, it's the job you get paid for.
It's the job I get paid for, so it's important for me
for your mortgage.
To pay my mortgage.
Yeah.
There's light at the end of the tunnel, my friend. There's light at the end of the tunnel.
You kind of got chucked into this project, and you have smashed it, but it meant that I think everything else, including your social life, has taken a battering from it. But also, you being sort of on social media, in films, all of that sort of stuff. So it might have looked like you've taken a bit of a back seat, or you're not seen as much, or they haven't heard from you as much.
No, and that's
whether they want to or not. I don't know.
They're probably they're living the life. They're happy. They haven't seen me. But no, of course, the work side of things, and then I won't mention it too much, but I took up golf during part of a midlife crisis. I got involved with that. Yeah. Very impulsive. If I see something, I'll do it.
Yeah.
And then I'll fall out of love with it again. Not fishing. That's my one and only. That's been with me since I was a kid. But I like to flit about in other hobbies. I love me football. Love me poker. Don't like me rugby. I'm not gay.
No. Can't say that.
Yeah, we'll bring it back the old ways, Dan.
Oh my God.
Any other types of thing? I'm just thinking about politics. What was I saying? Anyway, impulsive. And fishing died down because I had loads of other personal shit as well. But I'm back, and I love fishing more than ever.
Yeah. I think as soon as you've finished this, which, as you say, is nearly done, hitting this spring, you'll fly. What are your plans for the year? Do you have plans?
Fishing wise, or do you want to know about everything else?
No, I don't really care at all about anything else.
I'll run through my holiday schedule. I've got some good things coming up. But fishing wise, I got a winter ticket this season down on Chiltern Fish Farm Stour, which, funnily enough, I don't know what change the subject. Do you know I've caught salmon out of a river in Scotland? I forgot about it. I was just going through with Will.
Where's that come from?
Because I was literally just going through some old captures because me and Will were childhood friends. I was like, wow, I caught a salmon. That's pretty cool, isn't it? If you can say that you've caught a salmon from some river in the middle of outside of Inverness.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. You're really good at the subtle transition into a topic.
Yeah. Well, what did you ask me?
I've caught a salmon.
Oh yeah. So I was looking back at my other photos. So the lake that I'm on now, that I got the winter ticket, I fished 13, 14 years ago, and I was just looking at some of the fish that I caught. So I'm back on there. It's nothing like it used to be. Heavily stocked, loads of big ones, shallow. Love it. I know you've got the argument of big old English, old scaly ones. Don't care if they're big. I love catching them.
Yeah.
That's a bit of me.
Sure.
But yeah, I've been 4 times since November, so it's costing me a lot of money at the minute. I'm the perfect customer, Dan. Never turns up and spends the money.
Yeah.
So,
but I think, again, not dwelling on your work, but there was that period where it settled down a little bit, and you went 2, 3, 4 times, and then it just ramped up again. Oh, I can't really, because I think with you're very all in on whatever you're doing. So working from the bank's quite hard for you. So if you do want to go and do a session during the day or do a couple of days and try and work from the bank, I know you really struggle because you just get all anxious and it's like, oh my God, this needs doing, this needs doing, this needs doing. And I think I've known you fishing before and gone, can't do it, packed up, gone home because you needed to go and concentrate on your work, which at the end of the day is really important.
Yeah, I need it, Dan. It pays my bills, electricity these days.
Exactly. So, yeah, fair play to you for that.
So that's my plans at the moment. Stay on there. I've got a ticket till March. Will I get a full ticket? I don't know. It's a bit pricey.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I mean, the winter ticket was pricey, but if I get the full ticket, I presume it's at least twice as much.
How much is it?
The full ticket, I don't know. The winter ticket was 700 quid. So, I don't know.
What do you think your limit is on ticket? This is a topic to go into. What's your limit for paying a year's ticket for fishing?
It depends, obviously, on the fishery, but the argument of paying more for...
I'm talking dream fishery.
Okay,
dream fishery. And I'm not saying, you're the only one on there, you've got it to yourself, but, there'll be syndicates out there, you go, I'd love to have a ticket on there. What would be your limit for paying a ticket in the UK?
So many variables. I'd pay more for less busy.
Yeah, so say you've got a 10-man syndicate. It's 10-man syndicate.
10-man syndicate, I don't know, 10 40s.
Yeah, a load of big uns.
Load of big
uns. So basically, you like lots of big uns to go for. You like to go down for a session, get a few runs.
Yeah.
I'm not you. Do whatever you want to do, as in bait boat, drone, go out in a boat, long distance fishing, short range fishing. You like a bit of everything, don't you?
Absolutely.
Not too busy. Clubhouse, beers with the boys, good social environment. All of that. So that's your ultimate syndicate. How much would you pay?
Well, you've sort of sold it to me there, so it was going to be about 1,800, but I reckon I can squeeze to $2,000.
Would you really?
For a year, think about that. If you're going 2 nights every week.
How much do they pay you?
I think if I go to the football, not as much as you're my boss. If I go to the football with my season ticket as well, that's £150, £200 day out for a home game. If it's an away day, it's probably
even you've got season ticket there, don't you?
Yeah, so it's 56 quid for the game plus travel plus.
I thought a season ticket meant you don't have to pay for the game.
Yeah, but the season ticket cost me £1,000.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not
free.
I thought it was the same as a fishing syndicate.
We have a free ticket.
Yeah.
No. But if that's as well, in the summer when there's no football, that's you gotta see the lads down the lake. That's your vice, I say your vice. Whereas I'd pay up to $2,000 if it's going to give me that level of pleasure. It's like a social club to some degree.
It is, but also, I'm also saying the amount you go fishing.
Yeah, if you're doing any less than
2 nights a week. So I've offered you this ticket right now.
Yeah. But this is the thing, the winter ticket, I thought I'd be able to go more. So I'm invoicing Nash for it at the end of this to say, you put me through stress with all this work. Yeah, please pay for my winter ticket. I couldn't go.
I think fishing in the UK is expensive. Syndicates are, in my opinion, expensive. And they're only expensive because people will pay them. Do you know what I mean? So if there's a demand for that, and there is syndicates like that out there, there absolutely is, and people love that and are happy to pay it, then they'll
charge it.
Yeah, they'll charge it. That's what I'm trying to say. Over in Europe, I know it's very different there, where like in some countries, I'm sure there's syndicates like that, but any one of my European friends who I've spoke to about fishing, they're like, that is madness. If you say like the average cost of a ticket is X amount, and there's, you get into the whole public private lake thing. But I think basically if anyone over in France said, I've got a syndicate lake and you can come fish it, it'd be $2,000 a year, please. No one would pay it.
No, absolutely.
Whereas in England, there's people willing to pay it, like yourself. They're willing to pay it. So fair play.
But if you're going any less than I'd have to have booked in, no questions asked, whatever happens 2 nights a week. Because if you're not doing that, then that's a hell of a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's hell of a lot of money. Do you know what I mean? Like it's.
What do you think the most expensive ticket?
What's Horton Gold Card? That's 2.5, isn't it?
Probably up there, yeah.
Yeah. There's a few, so.
But that's what I mean. They put it up, didn't they? And people were happy to pay it because that's how much they respect their fishing. That's how much they respect that. Like you say, if that is their weekend out with the boys, or that is their.
You have to get your money's worth. Like I don't think I'm sitting here saying, "Oh, I'll pay $2,000." Like, look at me, Billy Big Bollocks. Like that's an investment with. I'm going. I'm getting my money's worth.
Yeah.
And there's loads of different options, because that is for your not full-time carpers, but don't matter if it's pissing down, wind, rain, cold, you're going. So you get your money's worth. So.
And then if you think about it, like I think the average day ticket now is probably somewhere around 20 to 30 quid, probably a bit more in some. The more expensive one would be 35 quid.
24 hours, 30 quid is probably your average.
Is your average, yeah. So at the lower end, I'm talking like sort of a commercial fishery, not like a carp fishing day ticket, maybe just commercial fishery. It might be 20 quid for 24 hours or whatever. But if you're doing 10 nights, which isn't a lot, over the course of a year, you're already up to the 300 quid mark.
Yeah. It's like anything, mate. Yeah. Golf, shooting, what's more laddie sports, hunting. They're all expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have you been hunting?
Yeah. No, not really.
Trying to think what are the geezer sports.
Yeah. Well, anything you want to do. Like Mikey Barnes with us, he's got into jiu-jitsu, hasn't he? But he'll pay
He's northern now, he's tight. He won't pay more than $5 for a fish and chips.
But no, I think it's interesting, really. It's a lot. It's a lot. How do we get into that?
I don't know. We were talking about my fishing. What about you? What have you been up to these past 6 years, Dan? The audience have missed out on it. What have you been doing?
Bit of this, bit of that, really.
Caught any?
Yeah, but I've done anything that I have caught, because I catch one every 3 years or whatever.
Did you get your own podcast when Hassan was doing it? Did you get invited on?
I did one when I caught that Swavesy one. That was the last time I did a podcast. And I haven't really caught much since. Well, I have, but not like anything of that magnitude to go, cool, look what I did. I'm in front of camera a bit more, so a lot of my fishing is through work as well now.
What do you think about that, guys?
What?
Danny Yo. No, to be fair, you were in front of the camera a lot before when we were doing the podcast, were you?
Well,
you weren't, were you?
Not really. I can't remember when I first started. Bled? Maybe it was like the first time I started creeping in front of camera, like properly.
Do you miss him, Tone? Dan, behind the camera.
Yeah, but
who would you rather film?
But only last year I was still behind the camera. No, we're in 2025. 2023, like I shot, borrowed time, and so I was still doing bits, but it's only last year where I changed.
He kept the good ones for himself and bigged himself up. Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, but
is he better than me?
Yeah, that's what I mean. You've taken a bit of a. I mean, obviously I enjoy it.
Yes.
I enjoy it, but I come to these boys at the end of every year and go, look, boys, like, use someone else if you want. Like, don't feel like you can't just turn around and say, like, you're not the one.
We've got no one. Got no one.
We do, of course we do. But what is always easier is someone in the office, because it can be 2 days out rather than having to take holiday from their work. We've got a pool of amazing anglers, but it's a bit easier for me to go and do what we need to do.
Yeah, and you know about the product.
About product, which, for us, really, for me, it's only ever half of it. Half of it, you have to be good and entertaining in front of camera, give some knowledge, teach people how to fish. And if you know the product on top of it and you kit it out with it as well, then all the better. But yeah, so a lot of my fishing's been that. And then personal fishing. I've got a ticket on St Ives Lakes Fishery, which is wicked. Literally a couple of minutes from my house.
How many did you catch last year?
I had 3.
How many nights did you do?
Probably 30.
That's not actually as bad as I thought, 30
No,
nights for 3 carp.
That was actually good going.
How many carp in there?
I'm on Long Reach, which is 30 acres, 35 acres, 35 fish, something like that. But it fished very hard last year. There's some lads doing a lot of nights, but I think the most anyone had was 3, I think. There's only probably 5 of us, more in the spring, 5 of us really doing time. But yeah, not a lot.
Yeah.
Not a lot come out. Some lads doing loads and loads and loads of nights and really struggling. It was weird, but I'm hoping it worked. Like the year before, it did loads of bites, So I'm hoping it flooded a lot. It was a bit weird. So I'm hoping it isn't just the pool of anglers that were fishing this year, and it was just a tough year on there. So, but then, I'll crack on and do that again next year. Love the place. I was really quite cautious. I had the luxury of being on a couple of big pits, which no one really fished, and it was always like me and 1 or 2 others. You become pals with them and whatnot. But St Ives was a big, busy ticket, and I was a bit apprehensive of like rubbing people up the wrong way, doing things I shouldn't be doing. I was just, maybe I overthought it a little bit.
Goody 2-shoes, mate.
A little bit, yeah. But it's such a wicked vibe. All the guys I met were wicked. Like I had such a good atmosphere on there. We all kind of like got on really, really well. So I really like it. It's wicked ticket to have. Wicked syndicate. The actual complex is unbelievable in terms of super wild and everything that I like in my fishing, but also the stock is unreal. Not just in the lake I'm fishing, but in meadows and shallow and all the other ones on there. There's a wicked stock of fish. So yeah, a lot of years and years of fishing on there if I want it.
No, and it's down the road.
Yeah, it's really close.
He lives at no. Yeah, he's got loads of fishing gear. Go rob him.
What are you doing, man? But no, yeah. So that's me, mate. That's my fishing.
What's been happening at Nash? What has been up? What's been happening around the offices?
Well, what in the past year or so?
Again, I'm just trying to think what people who were fans of the podcast would know and wouldn't know.
There's been, I mean, again, it's weird. Like in the course of a year, I feel like not much changes. We just keep plugging on. We keep putting out content, keep doing shoots. From us in marketing, that's kind of like the main thing that the public will see is like what we're doing on a media front. And we just, I think the year before Hassan would have probably still been it. We were trying to put out 1 video every week. Last year we tried to come down a little bit and do a little bit less. But do you know what I've noticed? Last couple of videos we've put out, I don't know, it's just come to my head, getting caned for using a drone. You've been using drones for years for the visuals. I'm not doing the whole, is a drone worth fishing it? Do you use a drone in your fishing debate? It's been done 10 times over now. But what I've noticed is on our last couple of videos, just getting absolutely caned for just using one in the fishing.
So not using them to find fish.
In the filming, sorry. Yeah.
The filming, sorry. It's not as if going, pop the drone up, go find a fish.
Well, yeah, I think that's what people think though.
Oh, so that's what people are implying. Yeah. So, but just through using drone shots.
Through using drone shots, the comments are just littered with people going, bet you can do it without a drone though. It's like, wait, what? We did. Yeah. We just put the drone up towards the end of the shoot and got some visuals.
Cinema. We're trying to make it look good.
Yeah. I think to the point where like we even had conversations in the office like around, do we even use drone shots anymore? Of fish? Because if people see a drone shot of a fish, they just go, well, they've just used the drone to find that.
Do you know what it is? I think drones are becoming more regular to non-filmmakers,
anglers just using them. Yeah.
Even down on my syndicate at the moment, they're flying about. I know there's a few lads vlogging on there, but I think people what it is people are exposed to them more, I think. So they're like, they might have been on a lake, no film crews there or anything, and you've got drones flying over. That's going to potentially rub you up the wrong way in it. So now that I've probably seen them outside of the filming. But then when you use it to show it, it's bloody cool, man. If the Boonies shoot that Henry was on, that drone shot of those carp in the middle,
in the ball,
there's like 250 carp in a lake where that's probably 90% of the stock.
Yeah,
in a 20-foot square. I thought that was cool as fuck, basically. That shot looks so cool.
And it really shows, the behaviour of carp and that sort of thing.
They're doing it by the book.
I think because one of the first shots in the edit was that people go, well, they put it up at the beginning then.
Yeah.
But typically we try and put them up towards the end of a shoot. Because actually when I'm being filmed, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Do you know what I mean? Like,
no.
Well, you don't
give me all the knowledge you can.
Nah, but I don't want the film crew, me to get all set up, super confident. I've seen one poke its head out, a couple of nice drops, bait over the top. It's all perfect. We're fishing, and then they come bowling over and go, nah, they're all up the other end, mate. And you just go, what the fuck? And then you've got a decision to make. It's like, do you stick with your guns where there's no fish, or do you just go, oh, in that case, I'll go up the other end?
But what if it was the other way around? And they went, Dan, there's 200 over the top of you in a minute. You're going to get a bite. With that not, mate, you go, well,
no, because that I've done it. I'm going to get the bite then in that case. Like, I don't need to know. Like, I'd rather just not know.
It's like a fruit machine and you just watched Dave put in 50 quid.
Yeah.
It hasn't paid out and then it's about to pay out. That's how I'd liken that feeling to...
Yeah.
If you know the carp are there,
but then what happens?
Slot's pan out.
Okay, then. But what happens if you don't get your bite? And you know they're there.
Put more money in, it's pan out soon. Sorry, carp fishing.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And
yeah,
then
you
go and put the drone back up, see if they're still there. Yeah. I don't know. So, for example, like we did a shoot at Milton in January, which was shot the previous year. The comments were awful. Like, not awful, but loads of people saying, I bet you can do it without finding them with the drone. It's like, well, I didn't. But because
I'm on their side, mate.
because they're drone shots, they just assume we used the drone to find them. With that one as well, weather was awful and we had one good day. So that one good day, Brad put the drone up to get the visuals.
You sound like excuses, Dan.
No, because this...
I didn't use it, I promise.
I'll tell you what happened. No, but I'll tell you what happened in the complete opposite. I fished a swim first evening. I'd already had, I got a fish on the first day, moved to another swim on the first evening, and I said that if I don't have anything in the night, I'll pack up first light and I'll move to a swim that commanded the middle of the lake, because also we were thinking other anglers might come down and get into a half decent swim, and I just kind of had a hunch, so I thought I'd give it a night and I'll move at first light. Fish my night, couple of rods out, bit of bait over the top of each one, nothing all night. 6 a.m, still dark, packed up, moved, went to the middle part of the lake. Anyway, sometime probably mid-morning, Brad stuck the drone up because they've got good weather. I've got rods out. I'm happy. I'm pretty sure I've seen activity out there. I can see the odd dark shape, bit of fizzing. I'm well happy. Didn't catch one last night. Now I've moved and I'm on them. Brad's just come over and gone, yeah, there's a couple of massive ones on your spot from last night.
Now that's when you don't want to know.
This is what I mean.
Yeah.
And he just showed me, and there was two really, really big fish, literally heads down, tails up, just clouding up, just wiggling away, literally over the spot, just tucked up next to this wee bed I was fishing up against. Like, and if I had just stayed, I would have got a bite, but I chose to move. Obviously, I didn't act off that information and moved back in. I was happy. I knew there was fish there. I'd seen the activity, and I ended up having 2 or 3 out of that swim anyway, so it didn't matter. But that's what I mean. Like, it can work against you as well.
Cat and mouse.
Yeah.
You know.
But I could have quite easily got in my head then and gone, well, I know there's fish up there and they're feeding, so I'll pack up and move again. And
it's like,
I just don't want to know.
It's like surface fishing.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you'll reel your hook bait out of the way of a smaller one to cast to a bigger one, and it might not come off because what's informing your decision is a visual, whether it's a drone visual, whether it's your actual eyes seeing the carp. And sometimes you predict carp moving on the surface. You'll predict the pattern, so your hook bait might. It's happened to everyone. You'll be there, hook bait spinning in position for like 2 minutes, and you'll go, oh, they're over there now, and you'll reel it in, cast away. You think they are, or they're moving, and then they'll just come up where you are, and then that's cat and mouse. It's like similar to the drone. You can chase, especially in the summer when they got towers. They can be at 2 ends of a lake within, within minutes.
But I've just noticed it recently, and I've never noticed because we've been using drone shots.
Yeah,
I've just noticed it recently. Last couple of videos, people just slating going
like it's almost as if there's a, how to explain it, it's the drones just being more of a subject. It sounds like they're pissing people off more often outside of Nash, whoever it is, filming, you know, like, because again, we do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you're putting drones up, like imagine you're on a massive barrage in France, you're using a drone.
Yeah, of course.
Like, and again, it's the same with the winter ticket, yeah. Like, or having a winter ticket. You pay, let's face it, fishing in the winter is hard. They slowed, everything's against you. Like in the summer, everything's working for you. In the winter, everything's against you in terms of how much they eat, how much they move, what they can see, blah, blah, blah. Water temperature's cold. I'd put the drone up to try and find them. If I paid my money, which I have, you know, I wouldn't mind putting and I don't know if I can, and I haven't tried it yet. I'd want to find them because I want to put myself in the best possible chance of catching one.
Yeah.
And if I've paid my money, I'm there to catch them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is the trade-off with that, you're not angling. It's the whole bait boat type situation as well, you know?
And this, like I say, this conversation we've done.
I don't think I'd use one in the summer or the spring when I know they're moving. Because then you're cat and mousing.
Right, yeah. But in the winter, when you're down, I get you.
You know, and especially, I went the other day, and it was the 3 times I've been, or 4 times. The first time was fine, I had a couple, and then the next 3 times, -4, -2, and like again in the negatives. And I walked on walk. I got there at 7:15 first light. I didn't have rods out by the time the sun was setting because I did not know where these carp were.
Yeah.
And it was a case of every single hour I spend looking for them is time well spent if I get 1% closer to finding where they are. Turns out, not a fucking clue. How can those carp in gin clear water hide? I mean, don't get me wrong, it was during a storm, so it was breezy, but they're crafty bastards. It's clear water, and it didn't come to it. But if I'd 24 hours in and I'm getting the ump a bit because I've got nothing to go on. I don't think I'm not catching because of rigs. It's because where are they? And if I could pop the drone up and go, there they are, I would do it. I'm being perfectly honest. I would do it because, funnily enough, I really enjoy catching them. And it doesn't bother me enough to go.
And I think like fair enough. And I'm never ever going to judge anyone who's got that mindset. Apart from you fucking loser.
I thought so. It was coming along those lines then. But no, it's an interesting one, mate. Again, it's like buzz topics in the industry. You know, it's being a niche industry. You'll get the drone.
It's just coming through.
Bait boats, wasn't it? Once upon a time.
Yeah.
But now, if bait boats it used to be a time when bait boats were allowed, there'd be the odd person using them. But now I find if the rule is you can use bait boats,
they'll get
90% are using them because 100%. They're more accessible. There's more companies supplying them. You've got the second-hand market. They're more affordable. So that's interesting. You know? And then I think you working in reverse does help.
I went fishing at the weekend. I did my winter on just a day ticket near me, and out of probably the 9 people fishing, I think I was the only one casting.
Yeah,
everyone else.
Go for you?
Well, about as well as everyone else. No one caught all weekend, but I know bait boats have been dominating the catches. Henry's on the same ticket. He's been having loads off the bait boat, and using the echo sounder to help him locate them. And if, like you say, if you're in the winter, if you want to catch a load of fish, and that's how you find a load of fish. Whereas I'm sat there going, they're here somewhere. But where? I don't think. Do you know what I mean? It's like
how many
who's the mark at the end of the day?
Exactly. Yeah. In reality, just to like, you got to try and take any. If you look at it in the sense, if you've been there for 3 days, you've paid your money for a week session. You're not catching, and you don't know where they are. And Bill pops down and says, "For £10, I'll pop my drone up for you." Would you? And you're the only one on the lake. You're not upsetting anyone. Are you going to pay Bill £10? A lot of you would say no, and fair enough.
I know you spent $2,000
for Bill once.
I know you spent $2,000 on a syndicate and that, but £10.
I haven't spent that.
Fly this drone for £10? You mad?
That's what I do at the weekends. At the minute,
to be honest, syndicate. For me, if I did pay matey £10 and he popped it up and said they're there, I moved, I cast my rod out and caught them, I'd look in that net and go, "Wee, I caught one." But if I'd gone, I think I'm going to move over there, I reckon they're there, and I'd move round and maybe I saw one show and I put my rod out and I caught one, it'd be like catching 10.
More gratification.
I'd get the buzz more. And this is, I've never judged anyone for using whatever they want in their fishing. I don't give a fuck. Like, if you want to do whatever you want in your fishing, as long as it's not hassling me, don't care. But I do not get the same sort of excitement out of my fishing if I catch them that way.
Yeah, it's like playing video game on a more difficult.
Exactly, mate. I just like I could, if I catch one through that sort of work, I get more gratification. someone might get more gratification from catching 10 using a drone. But that's their game. They're buzzing. I'm happy they're buzzing. We're all buzzing. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Everyone has what they do for fun.
Yeah, exactly. You know? So that's my part on it.
Just
I probably
wouldn't. Like
I wouldn't. I wouldn't pay him. But yeah, that's what's happening at Nash. We're getting slated for using drones.
Yeah.
So yeah, we might just stop putting drone shots in films.
Be interesting. And we'll have to
2019.
We'll have to set up, because we mentioned having the listeners, viewers being involved.
Yes,
definitely want that. We need to set up comms.
I think I've set up. I don't know. I think I've set up an email address, podcast@nashtackle.co.uk. So, what do you think, people? Shall we put drone shots in our films? Email us, or it's probably actually easier just to message the official Nash Tackle page.
Yeah, or you,
me,
or Dan direct. Everyone messages Dan. Yeah, no. In all honesty, me or Dan, just because there's a lot of messages that we get, and you got to filter out the ones
on official.
Yeah. Obviously,
but podcast is where you can write a bit. I mean, email you can write a bit.
Long story short, podcast@nashtackle.co.uk.
Yeah.
Socials. Contact me, Dan.
Yeah.
Yay.
Sweet. Another big news. Henry's gone.
Henry's gone.
Henry's left us. Officially.
Who's all that stuff in the warehouse still then?
Henry's stuff is still here, yeah. Henry's stuff is still here, yeah. But does that mean we can ransack it?
Oh, I wouldn't want some of that stuff, mate.
He's got loads of oats.
Oats?
Yeah. I think he was using them in
sloppy zig.
Yeah, sloppy spodding. But if I get hungry, I'm going to go into his oats. No, but Henry left. 6 years he was here. You hired him.
I did. I created him.
You moulded him. You moulded him.
I didn't do anything with his mother. I'm not implying that.
I created him.
Yeah, again, that's 5 years ago. I would have hired Henry as a social media assistant.
6 years ago, I think.
Look at him now.
Yeah.
Fair play to him. He's climbed the ranks. He loves fishing.
Yeah.
He knows the score. I think
to clear it up,
he hasn't left. He's left as an employee.
He's handed his notice in. He's quit Nash Tackle as an employee. Henry's job here was marketing coordinator. So he had a lot of marketing-based roles, sorting out marketing campaigns, speaking to some of our magazines and that sort of thing. He had loads of stuff to do, but he just wanted to be a full-time angler. And he worked really hard over the last year or so to put himself in a position to go freelance. So he's quit Nash. He's gone freelance. He said, do you still want to support me as a company? We said, yeah, sweet. So we support him as a company on his journey. I think him and Jacob have opened like a web shop and that sort of thing. But yeah, he's gone, and that is him now.
Fuzzy Head and Loverboy.
I
can't remember who it was, but someone called him Fuzzy Head and Loverboy when he was reading out bad comments, and that just sticks with me now. So that's how I refer to them. Not in a.
But I mean, like Henry come up to me, to be fair, when he wanted to leave, and I knew he wanted this conversation. And he just looked me in the eyes and just went, "I like fishing. I want to go fishing."
Stop speaking so quick.
And I said, fair play, mate. And we had that conversation. And yeah, that's how we got into the role he's in now. I like Europe.
That's uncanny. He's like, he's in the room.
That he just had a way with words, man. He just had a way with words, you know. So yeah, so that Henry's gone. He's gone and done his thing. Go follow him on his channels. Go support him. He's got a YouTube channel and all of that sort of thing.
He'll come to you. He's everywhere. You'll see him. Like, he's on all of them. Yeah.
At a lake near you soon, with a drone, a bait boat, and a very deep voice.
Can
I fish there, mate? Sorry. Can I
know he's going to listen to this. He'll be giggling now.
I hope so. So yeah, Henry's gone. So that's some news for people. That's an update.
That film's coming out. What was our last pop film?
Dan Yeoman's at Milton.
No, I mean bigger than that. Canal, but no. Was it that? Actually, it might
Beyond
have been.
Banks with Dan Yeomans.
Yeah.
When was our last?
Like, when was our last, like,
We've had
hour
loads
plus?
of good films out. Loads of good films. I thought,
Yeah, it was
we
Milton,
really tried.
the Mission 5.
Yeah,
or 6,
yeah.
or whatever it is.
Cassian. But we really try and, like, great example. We've got Cassian out, Ollie, Road Trip, Cassian, Big Fish Hunting, but also the mission's always been Ollie going drum and bass, blah, 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 catch one. Appeals to that sort of audience. We've also got recently released Ollie going to Sweden. It's the same thing. Ollie, Van, going to a different country to catch these mega ones, but he had a bit of a dream about going back to his Haga. Two very, very different films. That Haga one was put together beautifully. It's very much a fly on the wall documentary kind of film, but like not really. We always try and do something a bit different, and like I feel, but like I'll always feel biased towards Nash films, but I thought it was really good, and I always get a bit burnt that it didn't get many views.
Yeah, and we chat about this in the office with the boys and that, because
do they hate us?
yeah.
Do you hate us?
You sometimes it's hard to put your finger on why it didn't get as many views. I've put it down to being relatable, in the sense of going to Sweden for carp fishing is out. Well, it shouldn't be, but to a lot of people, they're like, I can't do that.
Disagree.
I can't make it, but yeah, but then
disagree.
As I was saying that, I'm almost disagreeing with myself, because
Cassian, he drives on his own to the south of France, and like,
yeah, but Cassian's a bit like, it's Sweden, you know. It's like,
I get it, but like, I know why it is. It's because it's very different. It's slow. It's story based. It's interview based. It's a bit la-di-da. It's very artsy and, you know, edited together very, very, very well, in my opinion. Something that I would really enjoy sitting down and watching. But I think if you'd released that 10 years ago, it would have just been like blown people's minds. But I think now, when content is just bang, 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 they want fast, slapdash, engagement.
Look at this McCarville.
Not even just that, but if I've got 20 minutes to watch a film, not me, if someone's got 20 minutes to watch a film over their dinner, they want just something
Mr.
quick.
Beastie, like.
Yeah, which is just, holds their attention. And I think something like Sweden might not do that.
Yeah.
But for someone to sit down of an evening with a glass of wine and just sit and enjoy that and go, because the comments are super positive. It just doesn't get that many views.
Yeah.
Or we're just shit.
That's all right. I'll put some ad spend on it, and then it'll all be fake views.
Yeah, fake view.
I'll tap into that South Korean YouTube market.
But I think we've had loads of really cool films out. Some stuff that I'm super, super proud of. The Canal Boat film I thought was wicked, really, really enjoyable. That's good. That Haga one, again, wicked. We've continued with Henry Lennon's Continental Connections, even though I stopped. Surprised they carried on, but I stopped. Anyway, I dipped
Fell
out
off a cliff.
But yeah, we've got loads, and we've got some real cool ones coming up.
Yeah, I've just watched a rough cut. Can't say much more than that.
Yeah, that one's
one of my favourite. I was giggling. I was hungover on Saturday, as you do, and I was like, I need something to cheer me up. And then I think I didn't know about it, or you might have told me that. Have you seen the rough cut? Brad's put a rough cut of this film up, and I watched it, and I giggled.
Mate,
the fishing was hard, and again, I won't say anything, but it was just lads, big adventure, trip of a lifetime. So grateful. Like, I was watching it with immense gratitude that I got the opportunity to go on this trip.
Yeah.
And it's just what the boy is having a laugh, like it was like, it's just what fishing should be about. Like,
yeah, we've got a couple of big ones like that coming. To be fair. But then also, like, again, I want to make this fairly interactive. So if anyone, what do people like? What do you want to watch? Because I'm always super, not cautious, but I will always try and make content which people enjoy, perhaps over, I hope my bosses aren't listening, selling product. Of course, we will make content which taps into our marketing campaigns or stuff we're releasing or new product, whatever. But my first and foremost has always been give entertainment, information, aspiration, something to watch. So what is that for people?
Yeah, and I think it's the world, man. It's this crazy roller coaster of videos.
Who do you want to watch? Is it Alan and Ollie? Is it Henry Jacob? Is it me? Is it Alf? Is it someone completely new? Who is it? What is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Is it UK? Is it Europe? Sorry, I keep interrupting you. I'm on a roll now.
Yeah.
What do people want to say? Shut up and talk.
It's just saturated. You know what I mean? Like we've all, and again, bias, Nash, it's my family, man. I love it here. But we pushed the boat and we genuinely extremely passionate about raising the fucking bar. And it's difficult to do that. I don't know, about going to Mars at the minute. No, I joke. But it's more difficult because the number of people who are able to produce, not just fishing companies, like as in who not manufacturers, but your pay-per-view, typography, Syndicate, whatever it is, etc.
And individuals as well.
And individuals, like the
best in the game are individuals.
Information is more readily available regarding high quality film production, and it's a good thing in the sense of like, because you can get a lot more. Like when I started carp fishing when I was 12, 13, it was the DVDs, and they were revolutionary. And then you think of the information available now, and just the entertainment. Because if you love fishing, like again, like I love my poker. I watch poker every single day because it's readily available. I can watch anything I want, like that's going to satisfy my cravings for watching a bit of poker. Same with fishing now. I could, and again, I'm a bit immune to it because I work every single day in the fishing industry. There's so much good shit out there, man. Like, it is so much good shit, and you've got to have good shit competing with good shit. So you need brilliant shit. Sound like I'm high, like, dude.
No, but that's another thing is, you know, when I started, it was just the big 4 or 5 companies making really good content. Now, everyone's making really, really good content. Everyone.
Yeah.
I see loads of films, even from people who aren't YouTubers. They're not companies. They're just a few lads who decided to make a video. And I've sat down and watched and gone, cool, that was really good. Do you know what I mean? Because it's so easy and so much more accessible. So that means it's so much harder to stand out in a crowd almost. But also, you were talking about content. Like when I was growing up, there wasn't YouTube. It wasn't there. When I started, it was like coming as I was just coming into carp fishing. There was no YouTube. It didn't exist. It hadn't. When was it? 2007, 2006, something like that. That YouTube actually started. It was probably a good 6 or 7 years after that, which people started using it as an advertising tool.
Yeah.
But like, there's a little lad I know. It's a mate of mine I used to play football with. His lads got into fishing. He just went once with a mate. His parents don't fish, and just started fishing. And he is so good at his age after fishing for 6 months. He caught 21-pound carp the other day. I saw it on his story. Caught 21-pound carp the other day, completely on his own. And I know you see a lot of little lads who've got mentors or they've gone with their dad, and he went on his own, caught 21-pound carp. He's got everything, the bivvy, the spod rod, the wrapping sticks, everything. But for him to get to that level has happened so quick. But I mean, there's so much more information out there now. That would have taken me 5 years. Do you know what I mean? I remember my first bed chair. I've been probably fishing for 3 years before I'd even carp fishing for 3 years before I'd even got a bed chair, because
Argos Classic, 40 quid bed chair.
Yeah, one of them. I had a sun lounger for like 2 years. But he's just gone straight in at that level. But apparently he's just every night he's just watching YouTube. And that's the thing. I think you take it for granted that back then there was nothing. I remember, apart from a monthly magazine.
That's what I remember reading the same magazine again and again because I didn't have anything else. I'd watched the DVD 4 times.
Yeah.
The quarter DVDs. I was like, I'll use this. There's only 2 monthly magazines free, and I'd read them through. And I'm like, I've got to wait another month for a magazine. The old Carp TV with Joe Morgan and all that. That was one that was monthly, I think. But then you'd just be like twiddling your thumbs.
Or like you get Matt Hayes come on. Yeah. And hopefully there's carp fishing in this week. Do you know what I mean? So, but now it's just
Discovery
every day.
Shed,
every single day there's something new. So that's why I think it's got quite hard. But
yeah. But we keep trying. We're here to please.
Well, we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
We're sat here.
You know,
making a YouTube video
on your
and
drive
a podcast
to work, or was just a couple of lads who enjoy carp fishing, waffling to each other about the world.
So yeah, what we're going to try and do, I think we're going to start wrapping it up, but what we're going to try and do is introduce some weekly features. We don't know what they are yet. We'll see what works. We'll see what doesn't. We'll listen to the people. You write in, what do you want to hear? What do you want to see? Who do you want on? What do you want us to chat about? And then we'll just take it from there, see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll be topical, like Dan mainly, said, we're not necessarily a guest in. How'd you get into fishing? Oh, my dad took me. None of that.
Yeah.
Maybe, if there's a reason for it, but let's talk about the now. Let's talk about, things that are happening, controversy. Oh, this has come out, products, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we'll tell you what's coming from us as well. We got shitload of good product coming soon. It's so good.
Such a way with words. A plethora of new product. A shit ton of product coming.
That is the best way I can think to describe it.
There is a lot, yeah.
It's real good. Like, credit to the product development team, because I've sat on the boring side of the business for 18 months and seeing all this come through, I'm like, damn. That's good stuff. But all the stuff like that, we'll get people involved. We'll have some weekly, what was that, the word? Weekly, consistent things. I don't want to give ideas away, but what I spoke to you about earlier, the weekly features, that's the word I'm looking for. And hopefully you enjoy it. We're just going to be a couple of lads having a chat. We'll get Tommy in now and then, because he brings the humour.
So good. Yeah.
Because he's not doing what he used to be doing, is he? Tommy's in product development now. That's why it's shit hot. It's Tommy.
Maybe it's Tommy, yeah. But that's why the media's taking a hit.
Yeah, because there's Tommy. No Tommy.
Yeah. Damn.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, spring's coming up.
Yeah,
work will be dying down. Won't it, Dan?
I saw a post, just to finish on a real positive note. I saw a post literally the other day saying 4 weeks from now the sun sets at boom. 2 months from now it sets at boom, and I can't remember the exact dates. But by the time this comes out, if we decide to put it out, if it's any good, the sun will be setting at 6:15.
Yeah,
something like that, or by the end of March, it's 6:15 or something like that. Maybe later. I don't know, but
I'm looking forward.
I feel it, mate. Spring is there. It's right there. So I'm buzzing.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I went out without base layers on fishing, because it's cold.
Yeah, it is cold. It is cold. But
anyway, work to do, Dan.
Well, yeah, there it was, people. We're back. That's the podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the. What do they usually say?
To the channel.
Please subscribe to the channel and follow below.
Bye.